session is brought to you by our gold partner, Avaya. It will be presented by Mr. Kuntal Shah, Director, Sales Engineering India at SAARC at Avaya. Mr. Kuntal, the stage is all yours, and we are eagerly waiting. Thank you.
What I'm going to talk about today is how are we going to transform the customer experience using voice AI. But before I get into that, just a bit of a history around customer experience. And today, if you look at it, customer wants everything. And so much so that sometimes customers are looking at a conflicting experiences. And Gartner tells them as the everything customer. For example, customer today wants personalized experience. They are looking at organizations to know them. But at the same time, they don't want to share a lot of data with an organization. They want to opt out. Similarly, they are looking at more self-service options. At the same time, they're also looking at easier options to talk to an agent. So there are a lot of conflicts out there in terms of what they want. In nutshell, if you really look at it, customer today wants quite a lot. They want all the experiences to be designed, revolved around them. And that's the reason businesses are going to compete going forward for customers' attention and time. As per the Harvard Business Review, the businesses are evolving from, say, agrarian to industry to services to now experience economy. And in the experience economy, it's all about memories and feelings and experience which you take away with the customer, right? And that's why you see the study that 3 out of 4 millennials today want to spend more on experiences than on the product. And that's where we have to focus on all these 4 experience areas. The first one around here is the customer experience. And it's all about customers' perception about your product, your services, the channel, and the system. It may be of one transaction, or it can be over a period of time. Similarly, if you look at employee experience is the single most important thing if you want to deliver superior customer experience because they are the two sides of the same coin. The third one is around user experience. As we know that we have very limited time and attention span from the customer. And our user experience has to be simple, intuitive, yet effective. And last but not the least is multi-experience. You know, the customers today use various channels and devices to connect with an organization. We need to make sure that we deliver consistent experience across all of these channels. And that's what multi-experience is all about. While all of these 4 areas are important, and they cannot be working in a silos. We've got to make sure that they work together. If you want to deliver, and if you want to be a totally customer-centric organization, you've got to make sure that you work on all these 4 areas and deliver a total experience. And that's where you will be able to address the total customer experience and address the requirement of the everyday customer. This is a survey which was done by Metrigy Group, which is one of the biggest consultant in the unified communication and contact center area in terms of a technology adoption. It shows that what are the key technologies which customers are evaluating today or going to implement in the future. And if you look at some of the 4 key areas where the investments are happening in the CX industry, first one is conversational AI, and I think everyone has talked about it. The second area is around CPaaS, or what you can say as a communication platform as a service, which is about embedding communication like voice and other communication channels into the mobile applications or a website. The third area where the investments which are happening is AI platform. AI platform is more about agent assist or about using AI to match agent with the right resources. And the fourth area where the investments are happening is the workforce optimization, which is more around speech analytics and text analytics, etc. And if you look at all these 4 areas, one common theme around this is that they all revolve around voice. Those of us who are in this industry since long, this was a survey which was done maybe 4 years ago. It said that by 2021, digital channels will completely take over customer service from voice, and voice as a customer service channel will cease to exist. Today, while digital channels are important, they are being used. At the same time, voice has not gone anywhere. In fact, voice has made a massive comeback. All the devices which we use today has embedded voice into it. And we believe that going forward, voice is going to be used as a user interface for even browsing new products and services. So how do Avaya deliver on delivering exceptional customer experience? We believe we are focusing on these 4 key areas. It will help us to deliver this superior customer experience. These 4 areas are getting connected. It is all about giving different touch points to the customer and also the self-service option. The second area where we work on a solution pillar is managing resources. It's about providing tools to the employees so that they can do the job better. The third one is around knowledge and insight. Today, a lot of contact center sits on a tons of data, but they don't know what to do with it. And that's the reason we have the solutions which uses AI and try to find actionable insights from this data and helps businesses to make the decisions. And the fourth one is around process orchestration. It is about making sure that we match the right resources with the customers and also provide agents with the next best action. Let me just deep dive into each one of them in a brief manner. As per the Gartner, by 2023, 85% of the conversations would happen on a self-service or starts on a self-service. Out of that, 70% of the conversations will actually initiate through speech. And not only that, around 40% of that conversations are going to get handled by AI and machine learning and a self-service. In fact, in one of the survey, 93% of the respondents said that if you are not utilizing AI in improving customer experience, you are going to fall behind. And that's the reason you see that this event, you see so many investments, or so much investment, so many vendors, so much innovation and adoption which is happening in the conversational AI space. It not only helps us to improve the process automation, it helps us to deliver customer experience, also it delivers to increase the revenue. We at Avaya are partnering with 4 conversational AI vendors. First one is Gnani.ai, which is our local partner in India and with whom we are right now currently participating in this event. The other 3 are our global partners, which is Nuance, SaaStech, and Google CC AI. With Kyani and the differential, while we work with all the vendors who are here, we have a working references with a lot of vendors who are participating in this event from a conversational AI space. The differentiation which we bring with this 4 vendor is we provide end-to-end solution, starting from business consulting and preparing a business case for conversational AI to design, to deployment, and then fine-tune as the usage goes up. Right. So we believe that with this vendor, we are able to address most of the use cases which you can come up on the conversational AI space. Think about you want to deploy the solutions on the cloud or on the premise, or you want us to host it into a private cloud, we can do that. We support around 20 plus languages with dialects, with around 12 local languages currently. We can integrate this very natively with a customer journey so that you don't have to look for 2 different sources. We have an end-to-end customer journey, both from an agent-assisted solution as well as from automation using Avaya solution. The fourth one, which is a very key differentiator for us, is that any conversational AI solution, the key differentiator which happens is a low-code or a no-code platform to create those workflows. Just to give an example, Gnani today has 100 plus pre-built templates for different vertical use cases so that you can quickly put them into a production and your time to market gets reduced. Just to give some use cases which we have around conversational AI, which we have a fixed templates or ready templates for. The first one is around customer support. So there are verticals like e-commerce, banking, and insurance. We have a ready templates to automate the customer service use cases. Also, we have a use case ready for IT service help desk, integrating with ITSM tools like ServiceNow or Remedy, so that we can utilize to automate some of the common tickets which you get, like a password resets, etc. Avaya has their own very comprehensive outbound dialers and campaign management system. We integrate that with a conversational AI platform so that we can address the use cases like lead generation or a collection. And the other use cases are standard use cases which can be cut across different verticals like voice of the customer, different form filling activities, customer onboarding across different verticals, as well as reminder and notification services in areas like healthcare where you want to do appointment reminder services, or from automotive industry where you want to look at the vehicle service reminders, or if you look at from a notification perspective, it is around finance industry where you have a fraud alerts for a credit card frauds. So we can address all of these use cases with the pre-built templates where we can put this quickly into production in a matter of few days. The second key area we are looking at is a managed resources. Now, the speaker before me also talked about it. One of the biggest issues which agents have today is how do we answer the customer's queries in a very quick manner, because most of the calls today you are getting into a contact center are complex. And that's the reason we need to make sure that we deliver right tools for the agents. Similarly, from a supervisor perspective, how do I coach the agents in a more comprehensive manner? Avaya AI Agent Assist solution is actually an extension of a conversational AI platform. So today, when there is a conversation which is happening between voice bot and agent and a customer, and that needs an agent intervention, we transfer the entire context of that particular call to an agent so that agent doesn't have to start from a scratch. And once there is a conversation which starts between agent and the customer, this tool actually transcribes the call in a real time, looks at the intent, and start pushing the relevant recommendation to an agent. And as the conversation goes on, this recommendation gets fine-tuned further. And that's where agent will get all the real-time notifications in terms of what are the key answers they can give. And once call gets over, okay, this gets entered into your customer journey for a future use. We have a lot of use cases around this. Most of the organizations use it for high quality response to the customer's queries. They are used also for agent training and also to reduce AST. So there are various use cases for which you can use speech analytics for. The second one is on AQM. I think the speaker before me also talked about it, is that there are hardly you can listen to 2 to 3% of the calls in a contact center. You don't have a manpower to listen to all the calls. Avaya quality management solution, or what we call it as a AQM, or automated quality management, helps you to evaluate all the calls which are recorded in a contact center automatically with the predefined criteria. There is no bias, there is no variation, there is a standard criteria which are used, and then give a score across each of the calls which is recorded, unlike in the past where you were just evaluating only 2 to 3% of the calls. And then push them into the scorecard and trigger a workflow which can then trigger e-learning or a coaching session for an agent. Similarly, from a compliance perspective also it is used. A lot of times compliance gets ignored because you are not having a time to listen to all the calls. And that's where the AQM can help you to even look at the compliance. You have a compliance where agents have to adhere to a particular script. They have to say disclaimer. They should not be asking for a CVV number during the call. All of those use cases can be taken care by using an AQM, and it can evaluate all those 100% of the calls and highlight those compliance issues which agent would have made, and then you have a comprehensive view across your contact center that if there are any compliance issues, you are aware about it. The third solution pillar which we have is the knowledge and insights. You know, even if you have a 5,000 calls in a contact center every day, and each of the call is around say 3 minutes, you have a 15,000 minutes of recording which is there in your contact center every day, which is roughly around 250 hours of call recording. Now that has an amazing amount of insights which usually gets overlooked. The reason being, they are just going into archiving for compliance purpose. Nobody has a time to listen to those calls. Right. Avaya speech analytics solution actually is a AI-based conversational analytics tool which helps you to analyze all these calls, group them based on the words and phrases which are spoken, and then put them into the right themes so that you can identify trends, you can look at what's working, what's not working, and then fix that. Just to give an example, if your organizations have launched a new mobile application or updated a mobile application or website, and suddenly that has login issues and you are seeing increased call volume on your contact center, the Avaya speech analytics solution can automatically create a theme. Say for example, it's a password related issue, you can see the password there, which can highlight that particular issue to supervisor much before the IT team may become aware about it. Similarly, you can also create your own categories to look for in the recording. So again, giving an example that you have changed a policy or you have changed some of the rules by which customers need to buy your product, and you want to find out how customers are taking it. You can create a category and look for the previously recorded call after which the policy changes take come in place, and it will tell you what customers are talking about and what is the customer's perception around this policy changes. Whatever I talked about was more of a historical speech analytics in terms of the calls were previously recorded. But you also have a use cases around real-time speech analytics, right? Mainly around supervisor alert, right? So if there is a difficult conversation which is going on between customer and agent, and you want to make sure that supervisor is aware about it, Avaya real-time speech analytics can help you to do that. The other use case of a supervisor alert is if there is a compliance issue, if there is a phrase which agent has to speak and it's not spoken, it's very important that if you don't do that, you have a liability, the supervisor can get alerted using a real-time speech analytics. The last solution pillar is process orchestration. And now it may not be related to voice only, but connecting resources to a customer at the right time is very important. And in the past, we used to do static routing, right? So customer calls in, you look into the database, whether it's a gold customer or a platinum customer, and then route it to the right skilled agent. But in today's world, it doesn't work, because today most of the customer journeys start on a digital platform. Okay, so before calling up a contact center, this particular customer would have browsed a website or a mobile application, and when they exhausted all that option, only then they've decided to call up a contact center. So what has happened on that digital platform or a digital platform of yours, that context is very important in routing to a right resources in a contact center, even if there is a voice call. We address this use case through our intelligent routing. What we call it as AI machine learning based routing. It actually pairs customers with an agent in what terms we call it as a behavioral pairing. What it does is it looks at the past and a future predicted behavior of both customer and agent. It fetches the data from CRM, ERP, or other data sources which are internal. Also looks at the external systems for a credit behavior, or looking at external systems for demographics, etc. It also looks at where customer is in their customer journey. For example, they were trying to pay the bill on a mobile application and then they decide to call up a contact center. So that becomes also a key attribute before routing the call. From an agent perspective, it looks at the previous hundreds or thousands of calls and see that how the agent has handled these calls previously. Okay, and then match the right resources with the customer. This helps us to increase the revenue by making sure that we have a more cross-sells and upsell opportunity, and also helps us to reduce the cost by improving the first call resolution. Okay, if I have to summarize, what are the key Avaya advantages? All the 4 solution pillars which I just talked about are delivered through Avaya One Cloud CCaaS platform. It is our flagship omni-channel contact center as a solution or as a service solution. It is consumed either through a public cloud or a private cloud. You also have an option to deploy it on premise as well. We have an AI workflow tool which helps us to create both automated and assisted workflows. We have a comprehensive workforce optimization portfolio, starting from call recording to quality management to forecasting and scheduling, real-time and historical speech analytics, and more. From employee perspective, we provide employees with a completely customizable or a composable, the way we say, desktop, where they get all the information on a single pane of glass. And moreover, it's WebRTC enabled, so agent doesn't have to install, or IT team doesn't have to install any client on their desktop, or a thin client, or a Chromebook if they are using it. And that is important because today, even though pandemic might have receded a bit, work from home is going to continue for agents for a longer period of time. The other big advantage we carry is our ecosystem of partners. Today, with our Experience Builder program, we have around 250 technology partners. We have around 32,000 plus DevConnect solution partners. We have around 150,000 plus individual developers who are part of our Experience Builder program. Together, they bring solutions, technologies, the platform, and the skills to integrate with Avaya solution. And with them, we can address most of the use cases or requirement businesses can come up with for any verticals. And let me just summarize with this, that voice is a key channel in delivering the total experience, for sure. Conversational AI is definitely a big piece in addressing that. But if you want to deliver a total experience to your customers, it is just one of the pillars. You have to look at all the 4 pillars of solution to deliver the total experience. And we at Avaya can help you to deliver the end-to-end solution for the customer. Thank you.
Customer experience has 4 or 5 areas which depending on that. So in this, what I was uh, seeing is these areas by individually, even if they have good KPI or good uh, statistics about their performance, may not be enough for customer experience because most of the customer flows which you are getting in a call center are complex nowadays. That's what I understand.
Yes.
So the flow is always interdependent. How these components or subsystems work together. Like for example, you told about what you say, a person joining onboarding
Yeah.
onboarding, and then you have a IT help desk. And so onboarding generally would start from HR to procurement to IT and other things. Many things are interrelated. So how a only onboarding system can show you that
No, I
information?
didn't mind to say just an onboarding system, but if you look at the point which I was trying to make is that all the four are interlinked, right? You can't focus in an organization on one piece. So initiatives which you have can be around, say, customer experience. Then you also want to make sure that you take care of a user experience as well as employee experience. Because if you don't make it easy for your agents or call takers, okay, it is going to be difficult and it will have an impact on a customer experience. Similarly, if your user experience, your mobile application from a customer perspective or an agent desktop, sometimes I have seen that customers or agents have to browse through 6 or 7 screens in handling one customer call, right? So you've got to make it easier for them. You have to make sure that they have information on their fingertips. And as you said, the queries are getting complex and complex because most of the conversations are happening only when caller has exhausted all other options. They will go to social media, they will go to digital platforms, they will ask their friends, and then if they don't get an answer, then only they are calling. That means every conversation is a difficult conversation. And that's where the knowledge management, making sure that we have this agent assist solution, etc., which helps you or which helps the agents to handle these queries in a much better fashion. Otherwise, it's going to be burnout because for every call, they will have to look for a supervisor assistance or a back office assistance. Maybe I've answered your question, or maybe we can take it up later. Thanks.
Thank you for the wonderful
Just,
question.
just one. Okay. The second was actually you were mentioning that your customer experience solution is based on Avaya plus those 4 partners.
That's from a conversational AI
Yeah,
space,
yeah,
yeah.
for the conversational AI. So there probably we could not understand what exactly is the Avaya's core area and what is the core area on which you depend on these 4
So,
partners.
yeah, a good question. So, the contact center platform, self-service platform is Avaya's, right? So, I'm sure you would have gone through a lot of sessions in last 2 days saying that you are not going to achieve 100% of the automation. Okay, you always look at the low-hanging fruit first and then go for a complex use cases, right? So there will always be a self-service requirements which will also require you a classic dynamic IVR kind of a use case. So we have a platform which all this conversational AI partners certify their solution with. Okay, so without naming them, all of them have this 32,000 partners which I'm talking about. So they're all DevConnect certified. So they actually run their solution on our IVR platform. The other advantage which we carry is actually integrating the entire customer journey. You can't have a standalone conversational AI solution because there will always be a cases where agent assistance is required. So you need to stitch end-to-end customer journey. Just to give a use case, okay, if today I have initiated a chat session and tomorrow I'm calling, okay, and it's through a conversational AI platform, okay, when the call goes to an agent, will they know what happened yesterday on a chat? They would not. So that's the value which we bring in where we stitch the entire customer journey, okay, of a customer and present in front of an agent. So it is easier for them to handle the query.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm Jay Prakash from Royal Enfield.
Sure, thank
Yeah.
you.
So I have been seeing Avaya from my first day one of my career.
Okay.
So I worked in a lot of organizations, but
Sure.
one minute. So wherever I go, Avaya is a common thing which I was saying. So at that time itself, there was having a lot of analytics. What is the average call handling time? How many calls are dropped by the agent, or how many calls are dropped by the customer and all.
Yeah.
But now when we see the drastic change here, okay. So customers are, as you said, customers are calling only if the problem is complex, okay. So at the same time, one challenging here is we are training the bots using the historical data, okay? But whenever I want to release a new product to the market, I haven't received any call from any customer. How you are going to handle these kind of challenges for a new product where there is no practically or no real-time calls from any of those customers?
Sure. The way we work both from a messaging as well as from a voice bot perspective is look at the classic way of doing things. What were the key reasons where customers were calling? What were the dispositions for those? Look at the knowledge base on certain things. See, look, when you build a new bot from a scratch, you will have to start afresh and it just learns over a period of time. So, got to keep your bar slightly lower when you start and making sure that you automate the services which you think can be automated easily, and then you can build upon it. There is no easy way of building the entire knowledge base on day one to automate the transaction, but definitely the historical data on a classic platforms like IVR, DTMF, IVR and all will help you to understand which are the key areas which I need to automate and what are the 4 or 5 key reasons why they call and what are the answers which I have out of the box for those.
Starting from basics and improving.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
you.
sir. And ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause
Thank-
for Mr. Kuntal Shah, Director, Sales Engineering India, SAARC at Avaya.